Welcome back to another day on the trail in lovely North Texas. I'd been to Northwest OHV up in Bridgeport, Texas twice before. The first time, they warned us at the gate that some of the puddles are pretty deep. They aren't kidding when they say that either. We winched out this guy that found out the hard way. Between that trip and the next, I wasn't able to find anything very challenging. Mud isn't really my thing, so I wasn't planning to go back. Then a few weeks ago, Brady sent some pictures from his latest trip. It looked a little like Hidden Falls, but there were too many trees. I was surprised when he said it was Northwest OHV, and it was obviously an area that I hadn't been to, so I asked if he wouldn't mind going back to play trail guide.
First little warm-up obstacle, I recommend a rear locker, and then you start on the far left side, and then you have to cut pretty hard right before your backs come all the way up.
I invited my friend Mark to come along on this trip too. He grew up in Colorado and has done a fair amount of wheeling, but traded in his JK several years ago for something better suited for road trips.
You're a bastard, you know that?
Why is that?
Because every time I ride in this thing, it makes me want to get a Jeep.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. And
No.
that's just it. I know you're not.
Y'all should encourage him in the comments to get another Jeep and bring him back to his roots.
I think the secret was to keep the left tire on that rock over there. Oh, I guess.
Help if you put it in four-wheel drive.
Yeah, I didn't even put it in 4-low.
So, with our equipment checkout taken care of, including putting the transfer case in 4-low, we're ready to get on to the good stuff.
Hard right, hard right.
Move it, kids! I'm gonna get you!
I'm going to start on the right, and I'm going to cut diagonal left. I'm going to put my right tire up on the left there, and then the left side has to climb up that hole right in front of you.
Brady made this one look pretty easy, so I thought I'd let Mark tackle it. It started off pretty good. He seemed to be on the right line. No matter what we tried, we just couldn't get him all the way up. The slick tires were obviously making things harder, but I think he was also holding back a little bit since it wasn't his Jeep. After a few tries, he conceded and let me give it a shot. He shouldn't feel bad about this one though. It's been years since he's wheeled. This was literally the first time he drove my Jeep, and this hill wasn't very easy. And on one of his attempts, he got really close. After we got rolling again, Brady reminded us that he had to try several different lines before he figured out the one that worked. I don't know, I'm thinking a two-door Jeep with a lift, 37s, would have probably walked right up it. Come on, Mark. From there, Brady took us to the top of the trail called Winch Hill. They rate trails up to 5 diamonds here, and this one is a 4. That is probably based on going up the hill, but it's still not a stroll in the park going down. No Winch Hill got its name because if you are going up, there isn't anything for you to anchor your winch line to. I probably shouldn't have had Mark drive it, but I'm trying to really set the hook, you know, where he won't have a choice but to go get the yellow two-door with bead locks and a nice flexi lift that he's been thinking about for so long. Plus, you know my saying, at some point, gravity takes over. So it really wasn't a question of was he going to make it down. It was a question of would we be driving home.
Yeah, keep going passenger now.
Much respect to the full-time content creators that can hold the camera steady in the face of rock slides, sliding peaks, tripping over rocks, all while acting as ground guide.
It might be. Okay, you can start cutting driver now. More driver. There you go, you got a rock you're gonna drop off here. Yeah, you're gonna catch that big rock on your back tire, so careful. Okay, careful coming down off that one. Slow. And drive, passenger. There you go, yep. Keep coming that line. And I think I tried to keep you on top of that, but that probably wasn't good. Driver now. Driver. Keep coming. Yeah, you did the same. Good. Just keep pushing through that. Okay.
This trail had one last ledge at the end waiting to ambush the unsuspecting. Brady stopped to point it out because it's high enough we knew I'd drag my belly. I was also thinking I'd catch my factory rear bumper and bend it into the body. So we stacked a few rocks, took it slow, and hoped for the best. Turns out we didn't catch the bumper, on this ledge anyway.
A little more passenger now. Good. Hold that. Coming down. Nice, very nice. Okay. You're good. Okay. Now come towards me hard. Slow. Okay, now your passenger coming down now. Turning downhill now. Good. Coming down. Very nice. And more. That way.
From there, we took a little connecting trail that had been washed out during the previous rain and onto what looked like a dry creek bed. Brady had told us earlier that the last time he was here, there was a section he had some trouble with, and he wanted to redeem himself. Since I don't remember the name of the trail, we'll call it Brady's Redemption. When we got to the section he was talking about, we stopped to look it over. He showed us what he thought would be the best way to try it, and had already lined up his Jeep to do it. Basically, just a straight shot down this first set of steps in front of where he's parked. You can't see them from this angle, but that side has some gaps that are offset, and I thought there was a risk of dropping in one of them and catching a diff. I also thought I was seeing a better line by coming in at the steps from an angle. He didn't agree, but was okay with letting me go first to test the theory. If my tires hadn't been covered in mud, I probably wouldn't have slid sideways, but after watching him go down, I had to concede his approach was better. We shall now name this obstacle on Brady's Redemption to Brad Should Have Listened. But the reality was, the top part of the obstacle wasn't the problem anyway. At this point, Mark had relegated himself to playing cameraman. As he was holding the camera, I'm sure he was thinking how much easier it would have been for a short wheelbase two-door Jeep to go down this thing. Or maybe he was just thinking it would have looked better than these big old minivans we're driving. And that is where Double Dose got a matching mark on the driver's side of the body from the factory steel bumper. I'm not saying I was predicting this at all, but it's impressive how much force is created here. His front driver tire is down in that hole when the front passenger tire slides off the ledge. You can see it causing the rear of the vehicle to slide sideways. So, like I said, his line looks better without all that extra sliding and bouncing around. Maybe I just have a flair for the dramatic, though.
Same spot.
Coming down now, as it slope. A passenger coming down. I think you can come drive a little bit now. You made it look easy.
Well, folks, that's all we got. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm looking forward to sharing more with you in the future. Take care.